Hi, I'm Bo Huffman from the Hastings and Kearney GNCs. We're here to help you live well each and every day. So whether you're looking for a good quality multiple vitamin for the family, a fish oil for your overall health and wellness needs, to sports nutrition, weight loss, whatever your goal, we're here to help you live well each and every day.
Hey guys, welcome to the Sports Hub, brought to you by GNC. We have semi-final football playoff action ahead of us. We had some great quarterfinal games, some cold quarterfinal games. I was wearing a couple pairs of socks, a couple pairs of gloves, but that still really didn't do that much. I know players in the field were not even feeling that cold. We were still able to have 3 teams advance in the Hub territory. We're going to start in C1 with Cozad because they have a huge showdown with Boone Central Newman Grove. That one is just going to be a really, obviously, an important game for both teams as far as history and what it means to both towns. But talk about a monster matchup you got going here. Jake Paulson, of course, the All-State Cozad tailback, against Wyatt Mazur, the Boone Central Newman Grove quarterback. You got 2 of the best playmakers probably in the state on any level. They're going to be going head-to-head, and it's going to be a fun one to watch because I think that Cozad defense might be a little bit underrated still, unbelievably. They held Gothenburg to 9 points in that quarterfinal win, and they just dominated the line of scrimmage. They get such a good push from those guys up front. Jacob Stahlbeimer, of course, and then at the second level with Alex Baricia, and then with Tanner Evertson. Those kids just get in the backfield and they make it very tough to stop. So Cozad defense is going to have such a tough task in handling Wyatt Mazur, of course, and that Boone Central defense. We don't know how they're going to be able to handle Jake Paulson. Thomas Connolly was able to go off a little bit against them in that second round game. So if Connolly's able to do that, Paulson's going to look to be able to do the same thing and break off those big runs because that is how they get going, and he is kind of the straw that stirs the drink for Cozad. So going to be an awesome semifinal showdown. Trip for Lincoln up for grabs. 2 really good teams, the 2 best teams in C1. I think we can say that with certainty.
Class D2 semifinal at the Broncos versus the Broncos with Amherst and Stuart. Amherst escaped a wild one last week against Wallace, 50-44. They were playing with fire a little bit. They had a lot of penalties, a lot of turnovers. When I saw them in the week before against Loomis, they also had a lot of penalties. In a semifinal game against Stuart with a trip to Lincoln on the line, they're going to have to clean that up. The one thing they've got going for them, though, is they've just got a potent offense. With Mason Klingelhofer at tailback, you got Trey Taubenheim, Brady Neckout as a wide receiver. They have the ability to mask some of those things just because they can put up so many points. They can do so well offensively. They're going to have to do that against Stuart. These are 2 young teams. Amherst has 3 seniors, although Mason Klingelhofer is one of those seniors. Stuart has just 1 senior. So if this is a semifinal game we're seeing this year, we'll probably see it again next year as well. They like to throw the ball. Alex Coons has 1,100 passing yards. He's also their leading rusher with over 1,500 rushing yards. They're going to have to find something to stop him. Stuart really hasn't been tested. Amherst got their test last week. Stuart's been blowing out all the teams they've faced so far. So it's a little bit of an unknown. Amherst has to travel a little ways to face Stuart. We'll see. It should be an exciting game. These are 2 good teams, and obviously a state final berth is on the line. A lot of times when you get to the semifinal round, you kind of look at the bracket and think, well, I guess one of these teams is going to be the champion, and that'll be weird. Not in Class D1. There's 4 undefeated teams. Any of these that come out unscathed is going to be a deserving state champion. On the west side of the bracket, we have Overton and Hemingford. Overton has really methodically been putting opponents away.
Yeah.
They've got that strong offensive line, strong defensive line. They just pave wide open holes for Hayden Cahoy to run right through. They're very efficient. Joel Schaefer is an efficient quarterback. This team is just slowly putting teams away. They did that last week against Twin Loop, started slow but then got rolling, and Twin Loop had nothing to stop them. But this week they get a Hemingford team that's undefeated. We didn't know much about them until they came to Elm Creek and knocked them off, and you were there. So what do we know about
I learned
Hemingford?
a lot about Hemingford. Learned a lot. That defense is really, really talented. They held Elm Creek to 29 second-half yards. That's impressive considering that Hayden Geis, Christian Best have been breaking off 29-yard runs on individual plays all season, and now Hemingford is rolling into this game. They have blown out every team that they've faced. That was the closest game they've had all season, that 20-7 win at Elm Creek. And I think just to travel that far and to come away with a win, those kids were ready to play. Matthew Wood, Ethan Skinner, those 2 guys really get that offense going and get their defense going. I think those 2 guys are going to be very tough for Overton to stop. And if Overton is overlooking Hemingford because it is in Elm Creek, then Overton's got another thing coming because those kids are playing really good football right now, and they don't care who they're facing because they just kind of have that us against the world mentality.
Yeah, it should be an exciting game. Overton cannot have a slow start like they've had the last 2 weeks, or they're gonna be in a hole against Hemingford.
Yeah, and the holes are very tough to get out of against Hemingford. Just ask Elm Creek about that. So we're going to have a lot of good semifinal matchups. This is going to be a lot of fun for us. There could be 3 Hub Territory teams playing in a state championship. That's kind of a weird thought. Monday and Tuesday, all that action is going to unfold. We're going to have all your coverage, of course. Follow us on Twitter, at NMHart, at CJ O'Gara. Make sure you're also checking out our website. We're going to have all of that up-to-date coverage, so we're going to try and get those stories up as soon as possible, especially these afternoon games.
Yeah.
So definitely going to want to check out the website. So for the Sports Hub, this has been Connor O'Gara, Nathan Hart. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.